I have with me Ken and Anne-Marie Harbar, author of a new book on parenting, Here Be Dragons. Thank you guys for being here.
Great to be here.
In the military today, you now have men who think that they're women. They're having sex change, and you have drag queens and women who act like men, and it's a mess. Is that affecting the military for the good or the bad?
Well, I'm not sure where you're getting that it's a mess. Some of the most professional...
But is that affecting the military in a good way or a negative way?
I don't see it affecting the military.
Neither good nor negative?
No, I don't see it affecting the military. Some of the best fighters I've ever served with probably fall into the categories you've described.
Would you want to end up in a foxhole with a drag queen?
Absolutely.
With a drag queen?
Yes. If they know how to fire a gun, if they know how to hold my back. Have you ever been in a foxhole, Jesse?
No.
Do you have any clue what you're talking about?
I wouldn't want to end up in a foxhole with a drag queen.
Well, I don't think you would wind up in a foxhole.
Why not?
Because you don't have the ability, it seems, to serve alongside people who are capable instead of judging them by how they dress.
No, not only how they dress.
I judge my wingman by how they are capable.
A person who don't recognize who they are, if they're a man, and they in their mind they think that they're a woman, that's a mental problem. And that would concern me when I look out of that hole and see Bin Laden coming after me.
If that person can fire a gun, if that person can protect you from the enemy,
and I'm about to go down in this foxhole and
I'm
I'm looking down in the hole, I see a mental person there, I'm not going to feel quite safe.
I think you're imagining a scenario based on maybe a stereotype. My guess is you don't have a lot of close friends who are transgender.
I have no transgender.
Right. So
I have some friends who are homosexuals and trying to overcome it.
Right. So I think this is probably a good starting point when I talk to people about misconceptions about transgender people.
You don't
one
think
of the
that's
places
a mental problem?
I like to start with is, do you actually know one, or are you just
I don't need to know one to know that it's wrong, that there's a mental issue.
Is that right, Anne-Marie? I think that might be an area within which we disagree. And I like to talk about things we disagree. I think that we're living in a world right now where we have a hard time. People draw a line. I'm over here and you over there, and we never talk across it. And that, I think, is the biggest trouble of all right now, and that we're talking across it. I think we disagree on this point, but I like that we're talking about it.
Yeah, we should be able to talk, but we should also be able to disagree when we know that is wrong and not try to go along just to get along or appease someone, because these people are hurting. When you have a mental problem like that, you're confused about your gender, then that's a serious mental problem, and we need to be honest in the dialogue in order to show them how to overcome.
I guess I come in a very different perspective than you do, because I've worked with children who are crawling around inside of gender issues, and I talk to their parents. I don't think anyone at all brings this upon themselves and said, I want to struggle with my sexuality. I want to question my gender in a way that makes it so that I can't easily get along in one group or another. No one chooses that for themselves.
Right. You're right about that.
That's something that they're undergoing. But
they weren't born that way.
But listen, I mean, when we talk about Christ, Jesus walked with those among us that others wouldn't walk with. He held out his hand to people other people didn't. I mean, when you're talking about folks on the fringe of society, kids who are questioning, those are folks I want to kneel down with. I don't want to judge them. I just want to sit with them and hold their hands.
But as a Christian, you want to show them.
They get through.
As a Christian, you want to show them how to overcome it, right? You
don't
want to be
mean
and hateful. You don't.
I want to love people wherever they are. I want to sit with them and break bread with them. And that's the example of Christ I remember.
But isn't Christ the one who loved them enough to show them how to overcome it? He rebuked the sinner. He healed the sin. He rebuked the devil from them. He didn't say, let me get down here and just be nice to you. You pull in a homosexual, I'm going to lead this way. He took the spirit away from them so that they can
I just don't remember Jesus talking about transgender folks. I don't remember that part.
He talked about sin and stuff like that. What do you say about that, Ken? You guys are Christian. I'm surprised you don't understand that. Well, I don't know if you are.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't presume to judge your Christianity. I wish you wouldn't judge mine, but I have a sincere question for you as as a reverend, you said Jesus didn't accept them, and those were your words. We could play back the tape, but I'm trying to think of an example where Jesus rejected anybody. Jesus embraced everyone, and to me, that's the walk I want to walk. One of, if in doubt, love and accept. If you're not 100% sure, and I'd be surprised if any of us are 100% sure of much of anything, err on the side of love. That's my Christian philosophy.
Jesus didn't reject the person. He rejected the sin that was in the person. That's why people went unto him, so that they could be healed from the sin. He didn't just accept them as they were. He helped them to overcome. And that's why they knew that about him, that if they could get close to him, that he would set them free. And so that's what I do. I don't reject the person, but I don't accept the sin that's in the person. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
Do you agree with that?
No.
You don't? You say that he accepted the sin of the person?
I don't think we are viewing sin in the same way. So
I'm asking, though, in whatever way you might be reviewing it or viewing it, did he accept the sin in the person?
Give me an example. What are we talking about?
Do you know what sin is?
Do you know what sin is?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain it for me?
Yeah, I will, but just, you're my guest. Did he accept the sin in the person?
Yeah, he, in some cases, accepted people for who they were, but did not see that as sin. He said to the centurion, your job is to be a soldier. That is who you are. And he accepted both the person and their identity as a soldier.
You're saying that Jesus accepted the sin in the people as well?
I'm not going to play this rhetorical game with you, because I think what you're trying to do is equate homosexuality with sin, and
right now I don't have anything particular in my mind, but that's a good example.
Yeah. So no, in that case, I don't think Jesus would define how someone was born as sinful. Yeah.
There was a woman who was a prostitute.
Yeah.
And the men had found out that she had slept with all these guys, and they was going to stone her. And Jesus said, let he without sin cast the first stone, right? And everybody put the little rocks down and walked away. But he also said to the woman, go away and sin no more.
Right.
Was Jesus accepting her sin?
I'm glad you gave me a specific example. No, he was not accepting the sin.
So why do you accept the sins of others today then?
Because I don't
as
think,
a man of God.
I don't think prostitution is the same as homosexuality.
Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking of homosexuality. I'm just thinking of sin, period. It doesn't matter what the sin is. Sin is sin.
Yes, but we interpret it differently. And in this one particular example, I think we bring that in stark relief. I think wanton promiscuity is sinful. I don't think being gay is sinful. So when you say sin is sin, I think we disagree on what sins are.
Oh, I want to tell you what I see a man. I know a man is. A man is a male who is returning to his father, returning to God, and loving God with all his heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else. If he wants a family, he gets married, and then the love that is working through him from God, God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. In that state of love, as a son of God, he is the spiritual head of his wife. He protects his wife spiritually from evil and his children, and he also provides for them financially, because he is the Christ over the woman. And the woman loved the man who is the Christ over her. Do you guys agree with that order that came from God?
I recognize that. I'm very familiar with that tradition and that interpretation, but I think they're equally no. I think
you reject that.
I don't reject it,
but not to agree with it is a rejection.
Not at all. I think it is a choice that some families make, and I can respect that.
But as a son of God, you don't have a choice. Because
disagree.
You represent God.
Well, I believe that one of the things
is that right?
It's not. One of the things we are imbued with by our Creator is free will. So to say that we don't have a choice is not only fatalistic, but approaching on nihilistic, and I don't choose to live my life
You
that
don't
way.
have a free will.
I do.
And it's not even in the scriptures.
I do.
So do you ever do wrong?
Sure.
And do you will yourself to do wrong? Do you want to do wrong?
Sometimes.
Why do you sometimes want to do wrong?
Because I'm tempted.
So is it temptation that causes you to do wrong?
Temptation is one of the triggers, but my own frailties and shortcomings and my own choices are what cause me to do wrong.
But it's the temptation that causes you to do wrong.
It's one of the triggers. It's
So why don't you use your free will to resist the temptation?
I try.
But it doesn't work.
Sometimes.
No. If you had a free will, it would work all the time because you will always will yourself to do good.
No, I don't always will
You
myself
like
to
doing
do
wrong?
good. Sometimes, sure, and you do too.
Sometimes
Sometimes
it's good.
I was a Navy pilot, and she supported me through that. She not only supported me, but she understood when I went away. I now work for a disaster relief organization, and she supports me in that, and with the kids especially, is very helpful in explaining why it's important that Dad goes to a Syrian refugee camp, or that Dad deploys to the Philippines in the aftermath of a storm. These things are important not only to satisfy my own service instincts, but to set an example for each other and for our kids.
I noticed you call her your partner. She's not your wife?
Of course she's my wife.
Why do you say partner?
I say partner because in our parenting philosophy, we parent as a team.
When you call her your partner, you're not concerned that sounds like the homosexual marriage? Because they came up with that word partner in order to get normal society to accept them as a norm. And
well,
so now I hear straight guy family.
Yeah, well, I'm straight.
Do you know it sounds like you're talking about you may have a husband or something?
It might, but I actually have no issue with that. I was at an event just a couple nights ago with a very good gay friend of mine, and I fully support their right to love whoever they want. And if my use of the word partner grates on some people's ears, that's more on them than on me.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
You are a Christian. And you accept homosexuality as a norm?
I do.
And do you believe that homosexual sex is love?
I'm with my wife and partner, Marie, on this. And at the risk of preaching to a preacher, I abide by the instruction to judge not, lest ye be judged.
And so you never judge?
It depends on the situation. I'll judge ISIS. I've seen what they have done, but I'm not going to judge my gay friends for entering into a committed, loving relationship with their partners.
Is when you tell a person that they are wrong, are you judging them then?
I guess it depends on why you're telling them they're wrong. I think there are some moral absolutes. I think cruelty is universally wrong, and I have no problem not only telling ISIS that they're wrong for their cruelty, but joining the Navy and fighting cruelty and bullying where I find it.
Am I wrong for saying that homosexuality is wrong, and that it's something that you can overcome because it's due to a spiritual trauma? And so I would rather see them overcome it rather than go along with it being wrong and allowing them to suffer the rest of their lives with it, because they can overcome it. It's not something they're stuck in.
I think you're entitled to your own opinion,
absolutely.
But if you're asking me, I do think you're wrong.
You do?
But I'd
So
be
are
okay
you
to talk to you
judging me
about
by
that.
saying that I'm wrong?
Yeah, I am.
So you do judge?
Sure, absolutely.